Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Brett Hornby here. I'm here recording on Monday, July the 16th. And once again, I'm going to be talking NLL lacrosse here, because today the 2018 NLL Expansion Draft occurred, where the Philadelphia Wings and the San Diego Seals were able to make their selections from the existing 9 teams in the NLL from their unprotected list to fill out their rosters heading into the 2019 season, and also ahead of the entry draft, which will occur in September of 2018. So, as I discussed on my video talking about the Calgary Roughnecks in particular, on how they were looking going into the NLL Expansion Draft, each team got to protect 11 players, and you can do either 11 players with 5 forwards with approval of the commissioner, or what the Calgary Roughnecks, for example, protected 1 goalie, 5 defense, and 5 forwards. And what I also read, right, where it says teams cannot lose more than 2 players, where each team lost 2 players, meaning that, for example, you can have Philadelphia pick 2 players from the same team, and San Diego pick 2 players from the same team. And actually that's what wound up happening today in the NLL Expansion Draft. And today, I'm obviously in Calgary with my Flames and Hitman gear, who also play in the Southern with the Calgary Roughnecks. But I'm going to go over the whole expansion draft and see who's all on the move and which teams lost each player, including my Calgary Roughnecks. So there's 18 players that ultimately changed teams today, and actually there was a trade in the NLL Expansion Draft here. So I'm going to get my smartphone here and queue up all the players that got selected today, and I'll mention the team that they came from and the team that they're going. So what was decided on a coin flip, that the Philadelphia Wings get to select first, followed by the San Diego Seals, and then there's 9 rounds alternating. You guys get the picture. Same draft as, all sports fans. The only time that they used a different kind of draft in the 2005 NHL entry draft, they had a snake draft where the team that picked first didn't get to pick again until the last pick of the second round. So if you picked, in that case, 30th, you get to pick 31st, but that was also the year when the lockout occurred and wiped out the whole season, and ultimately they had a draw for who gets to pick who, and ultimately that was also the year that a guy named Sidney Crosby was selected to go first overall, and the rest is history. So anyway, today we're talking the National Lacrosse League, the NLL Lacrosse 2018 Expansion Draft. And I'm going on, it's the same on the NLL.com website, but I'm looking on the Wikipedia website, because the Wikipedia website actually lists the team that the player that's selected came from. So I'm going to go that just for the purpose of this video, to talk about which player got selected from which team and where they're going. So the first pick, the Philadelphia Wings had the first pick in the first round. They selected Brett Hickey from the Toronto Rock. And then in the first round, for San Diego Seals, they selected Turner Evans, also from the Toronto Rock. So the Toronto Rock lost their first 2 players in the expansion draft, so if you were the Toronto Rock at the time, you were able to just watch and see how the rest of the draft goes. And now in round 2, Kyle Metz from the Georgia Swarm is going to the Philadelphia Wings. And then the San Diego Seals selected Brett Meskey from the Saskatchewan Rush. And out of case you're wondering where each team is based out of, well, the Georgia Swarm is based out of Duluth, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. And then the Saskatchewan Rush actually is based out of Saskatoon, which is the biggest city in Saskatchewan, province of Saskatchewan. So in the third round, the Philadelphia Wings selected Jordan Hall from the Georgia Swarm. So after the 3 rounds, the Georgia Swarm is done losing players. And then the San Diego Seals also selected Adrian Sorchetti from the Saskatchewan Rush. So the Rush are done with their expansion draft. So now let's go to round 4 here. The Philadelphia Wings from the Rochester Nighthawks got Josh Courier. I was about to say Zach Courier, which for replace the Calgary Roughnecks, but no, this is Josh Courier from the Rochester Nighthawks going to the Philadelphia Wings. And then in the 4th round, the San Diego Seals selected Cam Holding from the Colorado Mammoth. So now we move to round 5. The Philadelphia Wings select Frank Brown from the Rochester Nighthawks. So the Rochester Nighthawks have lost their 2 players. And then the San Diego Seals selected Bryce Sweeting from the Colorado Mammoth. And remember Bryce Sweeting later because he also got traded, but which happened after the draft. Bryce Sweeting originally from the Colorado Mammoth. Now in the 6th round, the Philadelphia Wings selected Anthony Yoakum from the New England Black Wolves. And the interesting thing with the New England Black Wolves is they were actually the original franchise of the original Philadelphia Wings, who came in the league with the latest version of the NLL that started in 1987, and then eventually moved to New England back in 2014, which I can't quite pronounce the city. It's Unshinville, I think it's in Connecticut, but that's where the New England team's based out of. And then the first Calgary Roughneck got claimed in the NLL Expansion Draft, and myself and the local media speculated that the San Diego Seals selected Frank Scaliano from the Calgary Roughnecks. I mean, he's a goalie that originally was the starter, especially coming in the last season, but then he lost his job to Christian Del Bianco, so he was definitely expendable in the expansion draft. And now, let's go to round 7 here. The Philadelphia Wings selected Matt Rambo from the New England Black Wolves. And then the second Calgary Roughneck that got picked up from the San Diego Seals is actually transitional player Garrett McIntosh from the Calgary Roughnecks. So they decided to get an all-around, transitional player, because another player that there's a couple offensive players that were unprotected that maybe the Seals might have wanted to get some scoring right away. So now, going to round 8, the Philadelphia Wings selected Vaughn Harris from the Buffalo Bandits. And then to round up round 8, the San Diego Seals selected Casey Jackson from the Vancouver Stealth. And the one thing I'll note about the Vancouver Stealth is actually this past season they played in Langley Event Center. I mean, they had the smallest attendance, but the Langley Event Center only holds 5,000 fans. But the Vancouver Stealth actually got purchased by, I believe, the whole Orca Bay Entertainment. So they'll be playing where the Vancouver Canucks play at the Rogers Arena, and they'll be playing out of there. And actually, they're going to change their name because the Vancouver Stealth franchise actually has been moved around a few times. I mean, they were briefly in San Diego, and then when they were the Washington Stealth, they were playing based out of Everett, Washington, not Washington, D.C., just Washington State is in Everett. So in the last round, round 9, the Philadelphia Wings close out their expansion draft by taking David DeRisco from the Buffalo Bandits. And then, I don't know if you can call him Mr. Irrelevant in this case. I mean, that's what the NFL picks for the last player picked in the entry draft, but this is just an expansion draft. The San Diego Seals select Brendan Ranford from the Vancouver Stealth. And then, now let's go back to Sweden here after the draft, when the San Diego Seals picked Bryce Sweeting from the Colorado Mammoth. Actually, Bryce Sweeting was traded to the Buffalo Bandits after the draft in exchange for Ethan Scott and a second-round pick in the 2018 entry draft. So, even in the little humble NLL, there's deals that were made under the table or conditional deals for, for any draft, expansion draft. I mean, it's partly to give the expansion teams a more competitive team to start. I mean, the most recent example of the expansion team being great out of the gate was the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, the NHL definitely favored the Golden Knights to have a big competitive team right away. But that's the whole expansion draft, which it was broadcasted live on Facebook, and if you subscribe to NLL TV, which as I understand is still $30 a month, they'll broadcast that live so you can watch later. But I figured why don't I just talk a little cross here and carving out a niche here for talking about Calgary sports and entertainment teams, the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders. And I have season tickets for the Stampeders, and I will getting my season tickets for the Roughnecks for this upcoming season, so I figure I'll share this out to you guys. And anyway, whenever this gets posted, it'll probably be a couple days late because I worked a little later today, but at least I have it in the can right now, as they say in the industry, and probably be up live on YouTube in a couple days about my recap on the NLL Expansion Draft. I mean, the Calgary Roughnecks lost a couple decent players, but anyway, they were both expandable because we have a lot of talent up front with Christian Del Bianco, as I mentioned, stole the net during the season, so Frankie Sciliano was expendable, and I mean, we can always find any transitional players in the draft coming up here, and whoever else is available kicking around. So anyway, if you like what you see here, you can hit like, subscribe, and if you really want to know when my next video comes alive, hit the bell icon. I mean, I'm still carving out a niche here and still a very small YouTuber here, but I'd like to thank all the people that have so far subscribed and follow my videos and make the odd comment here and there, but I'm still carving out a niche here. But anyway, I'll see you at the next video.